To create a sale, we'll start in the Sales Activity Center and we'll click on Sell a Vehicle. We're going to work through a tab system moving left to right to gather all the information necessary to sell the vehicle. The first tab is your Vehicle tab, and this will be completed already if you started the sale process by filling out a customer application in the Customer Activity Center. If not, then select your stock number or search your inventory for the vehicle you wish to sell. When you hit tab, the information will populate, and you do have the option to enter registration information if you have that. If you need to add notes regarding the vehicle you're selling, you can click Vehicle Notes and enter the information. And if you enter any information on the screen, click Refresh Vehicle and it will update the information. The next tab is your F&I tab, and this is where you're going to work through the structure of this deal. So you created your system defaults when you did your company setups, but any of those can be changed if necessary here on this screen. So if you usually do receivable or buy here, pay here deals, but somebody came in wanting to do a cash sale, you could simply change this from receivable to cash. And if you used outside finance companies or did wholesale deals, you can select one of those options from the menu as well. The next field is your sales date. It's going to auto-populate with today's date, but if you needed to, you could change that date by clicking the calendar lookup. The sales price will populate if you added an asking price when you stocked your vehicle into inventory. If not, then enter your sales price here. And then if you added accessories, then you could add that price. If you're accepting a trade, then you'll enter the trade-in allowance here. And you'll notice that if you don't have a trade-in, your Trade 1 and Trade 2 tabs are grayed out, so they aren't even an option in your tab structure. But once you enter a trade-in amount, then your trade tabs become editable options, because if you have a trade-in, you're going to have to stock that into your inventory. So also, if you have a trade-in that still had money owed, so if the customer still owed on the trade, then you can enter the trade payoff amount in Trade Payoff 1 or 2. If you offer warranty protection, you can use the lookup button to select a warranty provider and package for this deal. If you need to see a breakdown of all the fees that you're charging for the deal, you can click the lookup button next to total fees, and it'll give you a breakdown of your doc fees, title fees, license registration, inspection fees, and any other user-defined fees that you've added to your sales. The tax is going to be calculated based on the tax information you entered in your company setups. And if you have just a state tax, that's going to auto-populate. If you sell vehicles in multiple states, or if you have state, county, city taxes that you need to add, you can create tax packages in your company setups. Click the lookup button and select the tax package or the tax rate that is necessary for this sale. So if you had tax packages created, you would have a list of them here, and you could just select the package that you needed. Otherwise, if you sell in multiple states, then you could select the state tax rate that you needed to use for the sale. The gross sale is going to tabulate based on the sales price plus any fees and accessories you've added. Cash down payments, you're going to enter in the cash down field. This will auto-populate with a down payment if you selected a required down payment in the inventory activity. That will carry over and populate here in your F&I screen. A pickup payment in the pickup field, you can create a pickup payment if you allow your customers to defer their down payments. Then you can click the lookup button, enter the amount, click add, enter the amount and the date of that the pickup payment is going to be due, and put the description, like deferred down payment, and then click OK. And that will be added as a pickup payment here. And then the total loan amount will be calculated based on sales price plus fees minus your down payment. And that will give you the loan amount. On the right side of the screen, you're going to see your amortization method that you selected in your company setups. And if you have a calc method that you use, that would be auto-populated. And if you had numerous calc methods, you could use the lookup button and select the calc method necessary. Your interest rate is selected when you do your company setups, but if you need to, you can change the interest rate. Your payment frequency, again, is part of your company setups or system defaults. You can change that if necessary to weekly, bi-weekly, semi-monthly payments based on your customer need, if that's something that you're willing to work with. And then you can calculate your loan based on the number of payments, like a 24-month term or 36-month term. Or if the customer tells you that they could only afford a certain amount, like I can only afford a $250 payment a month, then you could change this to payment amount and enter $250, and it'll calculate the loan terms based on that payment amount. So you can see then there would be 85 payments due of $250. So if that's something that you're willing to do with your customer, then you could create it that way. Otherwise, you can just zero that out, change it back to number of payments, and add your terms. So if you wanted to have a 36-month term, then you can create that term, and you'll see that it will calculate your payments for you. The number of payments, or number of days until the first payment and the first payment due date will populate based on how you set up the terms. If you have ancillary products like credit life, accident health, or gap insurance, you can use the insurance button to select those and enter them. If you needed to change the amount of a specific fee or payment in the structure of this deal, you could use the rollbacks button and select one of these options and then enter the amount, and then it would recalculate. You can do that, or you could just work with these fields because we haven't saved anything yet. So you can work either way to change certain things if you need to. Here at the bottom of the screen, you'll see the loan summary. So you can see the amount financed, the finance charge or interest that will be calculated if the customer makes all their payments on time throughout the life of the loan, and then the total amount being financed. So once you're done with the structure of the deal, you'll move to the next tab, which in this case is the trade 1 because we accepted a trade. So you'll need to enter the VIN number to decode that, or if you don't have that and you don't want to go out on the lot just this moment, you have to at least enter the year, make, and model of the vehicle. So we'll just create a trade here really quickly. And then you can come back once this is stocked into your inventory and you can complete the rest of the information. You do have to assign a lot code for the trade-in because it is becoming part of your inventory, so select that. And if you need to trade or change the cash value or the actual value of the car, you can do that here. Then we'll move to the next tab, which is your customer tab. Now again, if you started the sales process by creating your customer application, this will already be populated with your customer's information. However, if you started the sales process in the sales activity like we are, you'll have to either add your customer or you can select a customer from your existing customer database. So I am just going to search my database to select my customer, and we will populate that information. If you need to edit the customer, maybe Christopher was a co-buyer on a previous account or a previous loan, but now he wants to get his own vehicle. So some of his information may have changed. So you could click Edit Customer and edit or update any personal address or contact information that you need to. If you need to add a co-buyer, you'll follow the same steps as you would for the customer. Either add a co-buyer or select a co-buyer from your existing customer database. You have the option to add a second co-buyer and to add a co-signer if necessary. Your reference tab is going to allow you to add references to this loan. So you could click Add Reference and create a reference. Get any information you can about the customer. Click OK. It's going to ask you how they know the applicant. So maybe they're just a friend. How long have they known the applicant? If you can, you would want to get their address information. And contact information for sure. Click Save, and then repeat that process for the number of references that you're going to require. Typically, that's between 5 and 10 references. The next tab is your Insurance and Lien Holder tab. Here, you can select an insurance agent that the customer is using and enter their insurance information. This way, you can keep track of who has or is holding insurance on their vehicle. If you require insurance, check Insurance Required. Now you'll create a repository of insurance agencies in your area or local to your area in your company or system utilities activity center using the Lookup Maintenance activity. You can create a list of agencies in your area, or you could add one as you're doing the deal if you need to. And get the information for the agent, click Save, and then that will then become part of your repository. Then next time if somebody else is using State Farm, you just come in, use the lookup, and enter that, enter the policy number. When is the effective date? When's the expiration date for the policy? Do they have comprehensive collision? Enter the deductible amounts. And then if it's canceled, enter the date that it was canceled. So if you require insurance and you check this, then you can create reports that will help you pull up a list of, let's say, customers who have insurance expiring in the next 30 days. Then you could get your collectors to contact those customers and just give them a friendly reminder to renew their insurance. If you use outside insurance tracking agencies to keep track of insurance on your customers, then once you enter this information, it can be uploaded and passed to those agencies. And if you want to stop a specific account from being tracked by that company, then you can just click Stop Insurance Tracking. Lien holder information, if you use an outside lender or if your related finance company is carrying the note, then you can come in here and select a lien holder by using the lookup. And again, you will have a repository that you'll create in your System Utilities Activity Center using the lookup maintenance activity. If you don't use a lien holder, if you're just a buy here, pay here, and you're taking care of accepting all the payments for the loan, you can just not worry about this tab. It will automatically populate with your company information and you can move on. We do have 2 user-defined tabs in the sales process. The first one is going to allow you to create date fields and text, so you can put numeric and text information, and those are created in your company setups. So you can define the fields in company setups and then gather information as you go through your sales process. The second user-defined tab is going to allow you to put in numeric or monetary information or create those types of fields and then define them in your company setups and populate them with information as you move through the process. The next tab we have is the washout tab, and this is going to give you a breakdown of your sale, of the profits. So you can see your gross profit, back-end profit, and net profit. If you needed to add or reduce fees or reduce the profit or add fees like a referral fee, or if you owe, I don't know what you would owe, but if you owed something on the sale, then you could put that fee in here. If there was an acquisition fee or any other fees that you need to add when calculating your profit, you can do that. As well as commissions. If you need to edit your commissions, you can click this button and go through, select your salesperson, enter the percentage or the amount, and if you had to split a commission or something like that, you can do all your calculations here, and then it will calculate that into your profit sheet. Now, when we've moved through all the tabs, I just want you to notice before we save this sale that you do have an options menu here. It's indicated by this arrow. So if you click on that, you can see you could pull up an amortization schedule that you could view with the customer and even print and give it to the customer so they would see what they owe. Like here you can see the scheduled payment, principal amount, and interest owed. So they would know exactly what they need to pay, what they would pay if they made all their payments on time. You could look at or create a deposit for the down payment. You could override the payment calculation, so if you needed to change, if you didn't want to go back to the F&I screen, you could just override the payment calculation. You can view all months, which is going to show you the terms for the deal. Broken down in months, you could look at whole odd days. It's just going to give you this pop-up saying whole periods and odd days. You could print the F&I screen if you need to. Look at your calculation settings. This is just going to give you a summary of your deal structure. And then if you wanted to or needed to, you could view, add, or delete tags or alerts that have to do with the sales process. So if you needed to create a tag, you could click View Tags, click this Add Remove button, select the tag you needed to. So if you needed to put a tag saying that this is a low balance, or if you're waiting for a title, you could come in here and select, pending title, no title, whatever the tag may be. Then you just click the button, drag it over there, and save it. And then when you click close, you'll see at the bottom of the screen now there's an alert. And if you click on the alert, it will give you a box telling you that we're pending title for this sale. So once you've completed the tabs and you've gotten the required information to complete the sale, you can save as sale to complete the process. If you made it halfway through and you needed to get some more information from the customer, like maybe they needed to get you more references, to ensure you don't have to start over from the beginning next time when they come in with the references, you could save this as a pending deal by clicking Save as Pending. But because we're satisfied, we've created the sale, we're just going to click Save as Sale. And we are going to now, because we didn't use the option in the options menu to take a payment or create a receipt, then we're going to do that here. For the down payment, you're going to say how it was paid, cash, check, credit card. If it's a check or credit card, enter that information in the payment reference section and then click Save. You're going to get a modal asking if you do want to print at this time the contracts and documents, any letters, and if you want to print a receipt for the down payment. So you typically you'll select yes. I'm not set up with a printer so in the test system, so I'm just going to select no and then click OK. The system is going to complete the transaction for me, and once it does that, then it will save the sale. It's going to tell you that it's going to post the contract to notes receivable, and that once this happens, you won't be able to edit the structure of the deal. So if you're okay and everything looks good, your underwriters have approved everything, then click yes, and you will have completed the sales process.